let's take a census of the US presidents. And I've collected here a list of all the presidents' names, and then followed by the political party that the president belongs to. And then I have a list of the height and the weight for each president. And you can see, for one, John Adams says he was corpulent, so we're going to have to guess what that means in terms of his weight. Then we have who has a picture on currency that is currently in circulation. And the final thing I want to do is, normally if you're doing research, what you will do is decide on what are the questions that we want to ask of all the people that we're going to survey, or of all the people that we're going to take a census for. And I've already done that because I only had certain information available. So what I did is I decided we would look at the political party for each president, their height, and then what I did here is made categories based on the information that I had. So I know that most of the presidents were Republican or Democrat, but then there were a set of other party categories. So here where it says Federalist, Democrat, Republican, Whig, and Union, all of those we're going to consider. All of these in this column we'll just call other political party because it's not one of the major ones that we have today. Then on this chart, the other thing we want to look at is their height. And so I made categories. I just kind of looked at the data for where the president's heights were, and then I made less than 5'10", 5'10" to 6'2", and then over 6'2". So that's what the categories are for height. And then weight, I made a less than 150, a 150 to 200, and then an over 200. And that's where we'll put our corpulent President Adams. Then if they're currently pictured on currency, that would be a yes or no question, and it'll be just these presidents in this list here. So what we're going to do then, and you may want to have your paper to the side so you can kind of see where these numbers are coming from. And I'm going to put that paper to my side as well. So for the first list, the political party, what I'll do here is just write down the three political parties that we're going to track, and we have Republican, and we have Democrat, and we have other. And now if you were in a face-to-face class with me, instead of the presidents, I might just have you do a survey or a census of the entire class. And so that's an alternative. I just wanted you to be aware that this is not the only way you can do a census. So I'm looking at Republican presidents. And for that, let me put this over here. I can actually just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 of our presidents have been Republican, so I don't even need to tally because I can easily just count that. There's 18 of those. And then Democrat, come back here again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we had 14 Democratic presidents. So we'll write that here. And then the ones that fell into the other category, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And that will be 11 presidents there. Now I do want to add those up, so I can just use my calculator and take 18 plus 14 plus 11, and I get 43. So I'm wondering if I have had 43 presidents. So back to my list again, and it looks like I have 44. So I seem to be missing a president. Okay, so what I found is I started going through the list of presidents, and checking them off if they were showing up down here on the political parties. And what I found after I got to 22 was that Grover Cleveland actually had a split presidency. So Benjamin Harrison was president in between his 2 terms. So he shows up on the list of presidents twice, but he's only going to show up 1 time down here on the political parties because he didn't change parties in his 2 presidencies. So there are really only 43 people. So that's important to know, 43 different people. And so when we total things, we should expect 43 on there. Okay, so there's how I figured out my error, why I thought I had an error. It should be a total of 43, so I'm actually good there. Next thing, height, less than 5'10". Okay, so I'm going to use a math symbol, less than 5'10" inches, and then it's going to be 5'10" to 6'2", and then, and those are inches. Should put my little ticks there. And then the last category over, so I can just say greater than 6'2". So 6'2" inches. And less than right there. Okay, so now I could go through and make tallies again for each one and then count those tallies up. And let's count them first just for curiosity and see if we have 43 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, to Clinton, 23, 24. So we don't have data for everybody, and that sometimes happens that you don't know all of your data. So the ones that we do have data for, we'll have to do a separate statistic because some people are missing. So we wanted weight or height we were doing first, and we had less than 5'10". So let's see who is going to be less than 5'10". Let's put like a star next to them. That's less than 5'10". He's less than. These guys are around my height. These guys are over 5'9". There we go, Truman. 5'10.5". He's going to be 5'10" or more than 5'10", I should say. 5'11", 5'9.5". He's going to be less than. And that's all we've got there. So of the people that we have, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to say we have 6 people less than 5'10", and then 5'10" to 6'2". Maybe we'll put a little minus next to them. He's exactly 6'2". He was a tall guy for way back then. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15, 16, 17 of these guys. And then we want to know the ones who are over 6'2", and I think we have 2 of those. And so maybe I'll put a plus by them. So Lincoln was one that was really tall, and Johnson. So 2 of them that are over 6'2", and that's it. 2 of them that were over 6'2". So that's 17, 18, 19, 25. So I have 25 that I've got accounted for here, which isn't all of them. And I just want to double check my numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. And that's 25. And it looks like because Clinton served 2 terms, they took his height and weight both times, and the second time he was still 6'2". So we should probably mark him off, take 1 off for that. And it looks like Taft, they did the same thing. So Clinton was 6'2", so we're going to bump him down 1, bump that down 1 because he was 6'2" both times. And it's the same person. So we'll make that 16. and then we'll make the total 24. Okay, now this one's a little bit sketchy because we don't have data for all the presidents. So we just have 24 out of the 43, so it's just a little bit over half, which isn't very good. But just in terms of finding the values of and tallying them, writing it all down, let's make sure we're understanding that's what we're practicing here. So if we have for the weight less than 150, and then 150 to 200, and then over 200. So those are our categories for weight. And let's look at our weights. And we'll do less than 150 with a star. So we've got 1. Looks like we only had one really small president. The rest of them were pretty tall. Oh, 2, because Madison also, sorry. That guy had to be skinny, Jackson, because he was 6'1" and 140 pounds. Ooh, that's really skinny. So we have 2, and then 150 to 200, and I expect most of my data to be there. So 150, so we have 1, we're going to call him over 200. 2, 3, 4, whoa. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We're not going to count Clinton twice. And since we're going to, one of his is over and one of his is under, so I guess we will count him twice. So we'll count his under as one of the minuses. And those guys are all less than 200. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So we're going to say 19 of the presidents are in between 150 and 200. And then over 200, that we are going to put a plus by, I believe. So we have John Adams, Cleveland, and Taft, and he was over both times, so we're only going to count him once. And then Bush, so 1, 2, 3, just 3. I'm missing somebody somewhere. 1, 2, 3. 4 pluses, I think. That's where I messed up. So 4. Okay, so I do have this one extra where I took Clinton's weight a second time, so that is 25 there. So I do have 25 values there. And that's what my total comes to here. It should be one higher because I took one extra value. The next thing is to figure out if they're currently printed on currency, currently pictured on currency, and so we're going to look at this list, and this tells who's on all the bills that we have. And Washington obviously was a president, Jefferson, and he's listed twice, so we're only going to count him once. Lincoln was a president, Alexander Hamilton, not a president. He was like the one who founded the Federal Treasury, Federal Reserve, something like that. And then Andrew Jackson, he was a president, and Ulysses S. Grant was a president. Benjamin Franklin was political, and he did a lot of work for the U.S. government, but he was not a president. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 presidents currently on currency. Out of there are 43 different presidents, we decided. So 43 minus 5 is going to give me 38 who are not on currency. Okay, so as you can see, taking a census takes time. And this was a census with all the information already collected for you. So if you had to collect the information yourself, count on even more time for the census. So And then we also had incomplete data, which is very normal for a census because you don't always have all the data for every person. And now we might be able to go and compare those two lists of the heights and weights and then look online and see if we could find more heights and weights for people that weren't listed. But for this, we're just going to say, okay, that's the best we can do for now. And then our population is 43, but some of our N's are going to be smaller, so we're going to have to take that into account. And our capital N, remember, we use to refer to the population, the whole group, in this case all the presidents,